Okay, so today we're going to talk about what do you do if it seems like the busyness and the chaoticness of your life just seems to keep setting you back from your goals. Like if you, let's say for example, you decide that you want to start on this healthy way of living, or you decide, okay, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to do blank, I'm ready to like get fit, but then something happens. Like maybe you last pretty good, you last like 3 or 4 days, or you last like 10 days, or you last 1 month, or you last 2 months, but for some reason it just doesn't seem to be sticking. So what can you do? So a lot of times what happens is things come up in our life. Life happens, right? And it kind of throws you off track. So that can be stress, it can be working overtime at work, it can be that the kids suddenly have this, and this sport, and you have to do drop-offs and pickups, and it can be, usually it always accounts to some sort of stress, whether that be bad stress or just like busyness. It's all the same thing. It's like stress and imbalance, right? And at some point you decide that that other thing is more important than your workout. That other thing is more important than you packing a lunch. That's what you do. You decide. And I think you just do what you feel is easier in that moment. And then you fall into the all or nothing kind of mindset, right? You think, oh, well, like what's the point? I might as well just restart again when I have more time. If I can't do this all the way, what's the point? And it's really important to not be in that mindset. Well, what's the point? To feel good? That's what the point is. If you can't go all the way, you can still do something. You can still not go backwards. You know what I mean? The things that you want in your life, you want them because you're meant to have them. Like that, if you want something, it means you're meant to have it. If you can think back to anything that you've wanted in the past and you've gotten, so maybe that be like a new job, or maybe that be a man in your life, or maybe that be a new vehicle. The things that you want them because you're supposed to have them, right? So if you think a lot about having a different body, if you think a lot about how your stomach doesn't feel good, if you think a lot about how you feel uncomfortable, then you're meant to not feel like that. You're meant to feel good. We all are, right? So what do you do when these things come up? And I think, so you really have to recognize, like, this is just your life. This is just how it's going to be. So you can't use being busy or having a chaotic schedule as an excuse, because we all are busy in our lives, right? And yeah, maybe in 1 month from now, your schedule is going to be a little bit more freed up, but something else will come up. There's always something, right? There's always a reason why it won't be perfect smooth sailing. And that's why it's important to find something that really can fit with your life and your lifestyle in a way, in the simplest and easiest way possible, right? So if you're gonna, okay, so what we have left, what we have coming up is summertime, right? So summertime, there's gonna be a lot of barbecues, there's gonna be a lot of camping, a lot of going out on boats, a lot of taking your kids out to the park and stuff like that. So when you're thinking about what you wanna do to lose weight, think about what you can easily fit into that life, right? So do you want to be going camping and having to bring a smoothie with you while everybody else eats hot dogs and burgers? Do you want to do that? Is that gonna be fun? Probably not. And I think the important thing is to also realize when you do stuff like that, the way that you eat, every single day you're developing a relationship with yourself and with food. So when you do things like that, when you go on, say, a plan, like say it's like isogenics, or say it's keto or something like that, what is that doing with your relationship with food? And how are you able to adapt that to just normal living? Like, what happens one day when you want to go out for lunch with your girlfriends? You're going to have to like slide off the plan. Whereas if you're not on a rigid plan, you're never off the plan. You know what I mean? Like if you're just on a way of healthy eating while losing weight, you're always on the plan no matter what. So if that makes sense. So that's why the way that I teach people to live, it's very much so, it's just like, I'm just living, I'm just eating healthy, and this is just my life, and this is just how it is, and I get to get skinnier and be hotter and be fitter and be stronger, and look at how it's benefiting my life in all ways, right? Because when you're feeling uncomfortable in your skin, you don't want people to touch you. You don't want someone to see you naked. You don't want your kids to touch your stomach. You don't want to go shopping. You don't want to go on a boat with other people who are people who are wearing swimsuits. So the other thing is, you'll probably find that you'll avoid situations because of your body or because of the way you eat. So that's something that you should reflect on. Okay, well, what's going on in my life? What are the things that I would want to do? And what am I postponing for when I lose 10 pounds or when I lose 20 pounds? What am I not letting myself do because of my weight? And how is it affecting everything, right? So for example, it can affect you in daily life because your self-esteem is low. So when you have low self-esteem, every little comment that somebody makes really sticks with you. Or the other thing that can happen when you have low self-esteem is that you need to look to other people for validation. You need to hear compliments in order to feel good. You need to feel people cheering you on in order to keep going. Whereas if you believe in yourself, if you feel beautiful, you don't have to have other people tell you that you're beautiful. You know what I mean? And I know this because I was that person, and like, I see it in my life even now. I still am able to grow my confidence and self-esteem even more, to the point where I don't need someone to say, I see that you're doing a good job, because I know that I am, right? So when you know you're doing amazing for yourself, when you know that you've been putting the time and effort into your self-care and your outside appearance, you automatically feel better, right? And when you become a mom, or just when you become busy or become stressed out, it takes over your life. And toxic relationships can take over your life, or working too much can take over your life. And then all of a sudden you've let yourself go so much that you don't feel pretty at all, right? Especially when you become a mom, because it's just so busy. You just don't have time to like be putting makeup on and doing your hair. And I did that, trust me. Like, I literally wore no makeup and a wet bun for a year. That didn't do me any favors. That did not make me feel pretty. That didn't make me feel beautiful. I did what I had to do to survive, but what if you didn't have to just survive? What if you could actually thrive? Do you want to keep going through your life just surviving? So that's another thing you should ask yourself. What's going on in my life right now? Am I thriving or am I surviving? Which one am I doing, and how do I want to change that, right? Because just surviving doesn't feel good. Just surviving feels like constant chaotic mess in your head. It feels like you're scrambling all the time. It feels like you're just barely scraping by. It feels like you're doing what you need to do in order to get through the day. And like, everything is just like, okay, I'm grabbing this latte on the fly. I'm grabbing this granola bar as I head out the door. And just surviving, you're not taking care of yourself. It's just not a good way to live. And there will be periods of time where you have to do that, where you're like, okay, this weekend I just got to survive. I just got to make it through this weekend. And that's cool. But if that's your normal, then I would really assess that, because things aren't going to change unless you change them. Your schedule's not going to slow down. So what we can do is we can make you a plan that can go in there and not take up more goddamn time, you know? So if you think about, if you're doing something like counting macros, the amount of time that takes to sit down and count every single freaking macro or every single carb, that takes a lot of time. And people do it because they think it's easier, or that it's the answer to faster results. It's not. It actually takes up so much more of your time. That's why you can't stick to it, because you're constantly having to like do that, right? So that's why I have with the Fit Mom program, it's so that we can like just incorporate this into our life in the fastest, easiest, and quickest way possible, so that you can get results and not have to spend your life overthinking. It's like, okay, I need to grab something quick out the door, so I'll give you specific snacks that you can do that take no planning, no prepping. I can give you suggestions for meals that literally you don't have to cook at all. I can give you suggestions for when you're in a drive-thru. I can show you how to order at a restaurant. I can show you how to order when you're at your in-laws. I can show you how to eat while you're in Mexico. I can show you how to eat when you're traveling for work. Like, we're gonna hit everything, and I'm gonna show you how instead of tell you how. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna teach you how, so that you aren't dependent on me, so that you know what to do for the rest of your life, so that you're set for life and you're able to continue this. Because everybody has a different life. Everybody has different tastes in food. So it doesn't make sense for me to have 100 people and be like, you 100 people are gonna eat eggs and toast or whatever it is. Like, I can't tell 100 people to eat that same thing, because one person will be like, okay, I'll eat it if I have to. And another person will be like, that's an amazing breakfast, right? So I want you every day to be excited about the food that you're going to eat. I want you every day to look forward to what you get to eat instead of dreading what you don't get to eat, instead of feeling restricted and like, oh, I don't get to have that. Oh, maybe on my cheat day. So on the Tasha program, there is no cheat day. Because every day you get to eat what you want. Every day you get to pick what you want to eat. Every day you get to incorporate the most amazing healthy food that you could ever think of. You get to eat nachos, you get to eat burgers, you get to eat carbs, you get to eat muffins, you get to eat like anything, like brownies, pancakes, you get to eat all that stuff. And it's not gross, disgusting diet food. It's food that your husband and kids will like too. Like, everything that I make and that I put into my cookbooks and that I put into my membership site, it's like, that's all approved by my kids and husband. So this is really like a foolproof way to make it work with you and your life. When you listen to what I'm saying, it makes a lot of sense, right? Listen to the words I'm saying and how, like, instead of just blindly signing up for a program, instead of just saying, oh, I think I'm going to do blank because so-and-so lost blank pounds on that. I think I'm going to do keto because my friend lost 30 pounds. Well, are you actually making sense of it though? Are you thinking about what the plan is and how it can fit into your life? Or are you just doing it just blindly, just because you want to lose weight, right? You have to, that's two different things. So Fit Mom starts April 14th. For those of you who want to join, it's the most amazing time in your life. You'll never regret it. Ask somebody who's been on the program. Ask anyone. It's truly life-changing. And I love you.